I really like that. I mean, that's something that it's almost like you've some people like create CMSs in like other applications, but you've designed it and sort of made it manageable inside of Notion, which is wicked.
And what this is setting us up to do is like, we're not going to be in Notion forever. One day, the vision is to have this on a custom platform. And what Notion is really allowing us to do, which is fascinating to me and so valuable, is that it's allowing us to build out our models for, like these are the database records, the database fields that we're going to want to make sure that we include when we actually build a database, right? In MySQL or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the syllabus here, which has Notion was like the game changer for our syllabus, which used to just be a Google Doc, right? And now it's beautiful. It's got colors and columns, and we're really showing how we're structuring the content, how we do the custom built action plans.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. It is Francesco here. Today I'm very lucky to be joined by Jérémy Chevalier. Did I get that one right?
Yes, très bien.
Parfait. Where are you based again? It's France, right?
So I'm actually born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, but both my parents are from France, and they were meticulous about French in the household. So I was very lucky to grow up with that.
That's amazing. That's it's always a good skill to have, isn't it? But yeah. So Jérémy is working very hard at the moment. He's the co-founder at Gigloft, which is a freelancer school that takes on courses in a different aspect. So maybe you can fill in the gaps there for me, Jérémy.
Yeah, gladly. And thank you. The vision for Gigloft is, to make it kind of a full-blown school. Right now, what we have is free resources on our website, paid curriculum that people can sign up to access, paid weekly coaching sessions, where we actually take the curriculum and sort of personalize it to each student's speed of progression, right? Some students are gonna work much faster and have more time to put into it and maybe more drive, whereas other students want to take it a little bit slower. And we also have a community, so we have a Slack for the freelancers, sort of water cooler space, and then we have a Facebook community too. Community is extremely hard to build and to maintain, but yeah, so right now, really what's working is the curriculum, where students have access to everything at their own disposal, and then a few other tidbits, product features you could call them, that I'll show you in Notion.
I love it. And obviously you were mentioning before that it's Gigloft is like run off of Notion because you've been using it so much, and you actually sent me a few examples, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting in terms of the sort of marketing structure you've used. So I'm excited. But before we jump in, curious how you discovered Notion, first off.
Yeah, great question. So I was gifted with the joy of Notion through somebody who used to work at our agency, Publift. Somebody named Nisreen, a good friend of mine, who's now, I don't know exactly what her role is. She's over at Air Garage, a new startup in San Francisco that just raised. And yeah, one day she just sort of brought it to our attention. She said, "Hey, have you guys ever heard of this tool, Notion? It's pretty interesting. I like it for taking notes and stuff like that." And so I said, "Oh, cool, take a look. I'm always down for new tools." And within the space of 20 minutes, this was already at Notion 2.0, so they already had structured data, databases and everything. And within the space of 20 minutes, I started to realize what was possible. And so very grateful to Nisreen for bringing it up that day.
Yeah, full credit. And so how many people at the moment in your team are using Notion, including yourself?
Yeah, so Publift, the agency, is a team of 6. I'm happy to show some of what we're doing on Notion today. As far as Gigloft goes, it's actually just me right now. I've had people, help out. I've had a co-founder who's sort of taken a step back. And then I also, got a lot going on. I'm the director of marketing at a startup called Crash, helping early career folks kind of break into the industry and like find a great startup job. And I'm in the process of getting that 6-person team using Notion religiously as well.
Like a Notion convert on the go. I love it. And progressive. And you've picked out a few sort of main use cases. Would you mind showing this to us?
Absolutely. With the screen share?
Yep, let's flip it.
Cool. So I'm going to do share my screen. Oh my God, they have whiteboard functionality.
Yeah, I know it gets good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They've done well.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I will start with so cool. So every student that joins Gigloft gets access to the student HQ, which is not nested pages themselves. They're actually, as you can see here, they're heading 3s that I'm linking to that page and just making heading 3 because it's a little bit easier to see. But so we've got curriculum, which I'll dive into. We've got their ability to see a list of students, experts, which we've actually got as mentors volunteering to help our students succeed. Hiring partners who are startups who request introductions to freelancers through our website, and active startups that we've sort of prospected for our students and encourage them to research, find ones that are doing something interesting, in each student's opinion, and we sort of teach them how to go out and pitch a startup. And then we've got quick links. This right here is the syllabus that everybody can request on the site. This is a quick link to Calendly to book office hours. This is how to request an email intro, which we just found to be one of the most frequently asked questions of all time. So we just put it right here. And then a growing reading list and all of that. Publications that they can pitch to basically write for. Partner deals, which is a big part of like the business model that we want to explore. And then we're starting to build a list of templates here for tracking your outreach, doing daily logs, stuff like that. And then the official Notion support there. But so going right in here to curriculum, what we do is we teach this stuff level by level. And so we've identified that the intro stuff, we have lessons, missions, which are required, side quests, which are not required, but which we believe can help the student's journey, and then also workshops. So live sessions that we've done with and posted on YouTube and stuff like that. And so we recommend, this is how we teach it basically, is we say start with level 0. This sort of weeds out, right? Commit to the long game, choose to invest in yourself, and then set your freelance goals. Cool. Now you're ready to really dive into the fundamentals and beyond that. Sales prep, first outbound push, prepping for clients while you're following up, because you don't just get clients from the first set of emails. You got to follow up and you got to find new people. And so what do you do in the meantime? And so what we do on the individual student level is we take that content and everything's in Notion databases. It's amazing. And what we do is we create these student profiles that our hiring partners can browse if they want to reach out, connect. The students can connect with each other and everything. And what we do is we give them a quick link back to the HQ. We display a list of their goals, where basically we're just filtering where the goal owner contains that student, helping them track their goals and sort of keeping that top of mind. Then we are allowing them to organize their documents as they see fit. And then what we're doing is we're building weekly growth plans, where every single week we're curating content from our database, from our curriculum, and we're putting it in there for them. And so a student like Rick, who's actually not far from you, he's in Bristol, is a powerhouse, and he just wants to move so fast. And so, I think it was week 1 or week 2, I really hadn't given him much. I had given him like a couple lessons and a couple missions. And the next day he responded to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm done. Like, do you have more for me?" And so what this allows us to do is this allows us to really cater the curriculum to each student, and then also track progress, right? So as you can see here, he's checking everything off, and then we can sort of collapse these different things. We include the link to the coaching session. We take notes, and we also Remote HQ has a transcript feature, and so we use that. And so that's what the student profile looks like.
I really like that. I mean, that's something that it's almost like you've some people like create CMSs in like other applications, but you've designed it and sort of made it manageable inside of Notion, which is wicked.
That's right. Yeah, and it does come with slight limitations, like the fact that Notion is sometimes like these all have images here, right? So Jake is one of our awesome mentors, and for some reason right now this is not pulling up. Let me see if I can refresh it and let's see if his images come up. But sometimes I know that either it's Notion or it's AWS.
Yeah, that's it.
Has trouble pulling up some of the images. But like in terms of functionality, realistically speaking, like the goal, everything is still there, right? So a student that we assign to Jake can go to his profile, see what his expertise is in, go connect with him on LinkedIn, send him an email, and everything. And another awesome mentor here, Alexa Rohn. And what we do is we're in the process of actually collecting testimonials from our students for the mentors. We believe that the human capital that we put into this, right, the coaching and the mentorship, is ultimately what will make the difference for the students. Curriculum is sort of the foundational stuff that they need access to in their day-to-day, but the human component, connecting with coaches, with mentors, and with each other, is really what makes the experience for them. So let me go ahead and go back here to Student HQ. And so let's go over here. So reading list, again, database. This is something every chance I get, every time somebody brings up a book that's good for one reason or another, if I believe it could be valuable to freelancers, I stick it in here. And I'm actually tracking various elements such as if it's got a subtitle, right, which some books do, or tracking the author and all of that. And and then what I'm doing here, I'm trying to find a good one. Samantha Novak, right? So like Rochelle, one of our students, also in the UK, funnily enough, suggested this book, How to Network, Build Instant Trust and Respect with Anyone You Meet. And so I linked to it online, and then one thing that was important to me was to like track the contributor. And what this is setting us up to do is like, we're not going to be in Notion forever. One day the vision is to have this on a custom platform. And what Notion is really allowing us to do, which is fascinating to me and so valuable, is that it's allowing us to build out our models for, like these are the database records, the database fields that we're going to want to make sure that we include when we actually build the database, right, in MySQL or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is allowing us to really prototype and see what kinds of data we're going to need, how we want to be thinking about, the ability to add more, etc.
So it's like an MVP for something that you'll build in the future.
That's exactly what it is. It's an MVP that that's allowing us to sort of just build it as we go and learn a lot, like learning that the best way to teach the freelance curriculum is with these levels rather than just everything you need to know about sales, everything you need to know about, marketing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. And so databases on databases here, this is just a list of publications that are open to submissions. A lot of them are on Medium, a lot of them are not. But we believe that no matter what kind of freelance you're doing, you need to write about your industry. So if you're a freelance designer, you should be writing interesting content about freelance, building yourself as a thought leader, and sort of just writing and getting published. And so that's why we believe in that for our students. Yeah, like I said, we've got a couple templates here. I'll show the outreach tracking one. This is too funny. So the person who submitted this is also in the UK.
There's a lot of them.
There's 3, and we have run into all 3 of our British students today. But yeah, so Ben is a former professional rugby player turned freelance writer and marketer, and just like super successful in here kind of guy, like he built this outreach tracking template and then contributed it to us. When I saw it, I asked him to, and so we've got students using this template and kind of creating their own simply by duplicating it and adding it to their workspace.
I love that. I think that's a really good example of how like you can use it externally, because not many people know like the capabilities externally, and that's like a really comprehensive way. And I think as well, like the way that you've set it up to almost assign tasks to them has made it like really interactive. So yeah, it's like an opportunity for them to dig in. That's wicked.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that. And so real quick, the last 2 things, like I said, booking office hours. We decided to just link directly to Calendly. We originally had it embedded in a Notion page, but it was just simpler like that. It reduces, takes a step out of the equation for the user. And then the syllabus here, which has Notion was like the game changer for our syllabus, which used to just be a Google Doc, right? And now it's beautiful. It's got colors and columns, and we're really showing how we're structuring the content, how we do the custom built action plans, how we help them create content and kind of build their portfolio throughout the process, the different resources that they have, testimonials from students, which are reflected on our website as well. And finally, what I've been in the process of, which as you can see here is still in progress, is I have a vision of actually making all of or a huge portion of our curriculum free and open to the public.
Okay.
And making the value propositions of Gigloft stacked on top of that curriculum. So anybody who can teach themselves, great, go do it, use it, be happy with it, tell other people about it if it worked for you. And then we can, monetize in different ways through the coaching, through whatever. But so that's why I've got all of these linked. Some of them, as you can see here, are linked to the actual Notion page. And then some of them are linked to like a page on our website where we actually publish the free resource and are using it as more of like an SEO and content marketing use case. But yeah, so that's the syllabus.
Really smart. I love it. And I like the way that you've gone about making sure that it's like when somebody lands on every page, there's an onboarding so that they know about what's happening. I've not seen anyone use it for like that sort of CMS concept thing. So it's really cool. Thanks for sharing us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, I just have one final question, because obviously building something like that's going to take a little bit of time. How long did it take you roughly to build that Notion setup?
Well, we started in May.
Yeah.
And there's no end in sight. Now, realistically speaking, everything that I just, the meat and potatoes of what I just showed probably took a solid 2 months to really get to the majority of what you see today, and then tweaks from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people miss, is that they can just tweak and not necessarily like go to like literally like worry that they're not at the end goal. So yeah, that's good. Awesome. Yep. Jérémy, where can everyone find you and more information about Gigloft?
Thank you. Well, I'm Jérémy at gigloft.com. If you want to reach out and learn more about us or just jam, I'm always interested in hearing from successful freelancers who are interested in sharing their story about, and like things that have worked for them, things that they've struggled with, because we are still 100% in like user research mode. And the more we understand about successful freelancers' workflows, the better, the more valuable we can be to our students. So always happy to hear from anybody who wants to learn to freelance or share how they became a successful freelancer. And then the website for people who want to connect with us, gigloft.com. You can also just Google the word Gigloft, and thankfully that's a unique enough word. And join us on Facebook. If you're on Slack, join us on Slack. Those communities are free, and we're all about just like sharing resources when we find them. And like I said, in Slack, having that water cooler talk, because freelancing is lonely, and we want to create a community of serious freelancers who are interested in collaborating, right? We believe that the future of freelance is not this competitive, every freelancer on her own type of situation, but that actually freelancers can exchange services, can collaborate on projects, and refer to people that they find through the network and trust. So yeah, we believe that every good startup nowadays should have product and curriculum and a community. So that's what we're trying to do.
I love it. It's a really good mission, honestly. And thank you, Jérémy, for taking the time out to share your Notion. So we'll keep in touch. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely.
Sure. Lovely. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.